Today we're metaphorically breaking bread, dipping it in warm tea, and talking about drawing original characters on TikTok, which has now become a thorn that is sadly pricking one too many artists on TikTok, and now the art community has a problem with it. It's safe to say drawing original characters, or OCs for short, has also been added to the list of things that cause our mildly mannered doom-scrolling dwellers of the TikTok art community to begin plucking strands out of their hairs and biting their fingernails while typing out long lists of reasons why drawing their favorite OC with an ambiguous backstory and awfully relatable lore causes visible emotions of cringe and disgust across their faces, along with a few other like-minded furballs in the art community on TikTok. In a video posted by TikTok user Shin Desu with a caption that says, "What makes an OC boring in your opinion?" the comments were filled with over 25,000 people leaving their different opinions on what they considered problems that made an OC boring. From calling out OCs that had basically no character flaws for being Mary Sue's, to hating characters that had a truckload of traumatic events that had happened to them but were mostly all for shock value. And while most of us regular OC enjoyers are most likely guilty of having OCs that have had quite a number of traumatic events that had happened to them, toss in the handcuffs and throw away the keys, most people did in fact give valid reasons why their OC's trauma further went on to shape their character. My OC got abused and became a manic with the death of his mother because he couldn't take it. Oh, my poor baby. I hope your OC is doing okay. My OC was basically abused, burnt alive for 30 seconds, and that left them looking beat up, and now they have a severe hate against humanity. Is this good? They're a robot, by the way. That sounds rather tragic, but I must admit, I'm still very much scared of Skynet. My OC's law is that his parents got slaughtered and skinned, and he was forced to eat their corpses or else he'd... Reading this just made me realize I am also getting as traumatized as your OCs. One thing I began to notice was some artists based some of the backstories, lore, and a few traumatic incidents their character had gone through on similar experiences they had gone through or someone close to them had experienced. Which makes sense because the stories then feel relatable to people who may have shared similar experiences, making the characters feel much more real and believable.
Nurturing your OCs does not make a story. Now, no one wants to fucking hear that. If writing is simply a fun outlet for you, go ahead and skip this video. But if you're determined to publish your story, understand that trauma for your characters does not equal conflict. Conflict is integral to your story. Conflict is, I want, so I do this, but this happens, so I try and do this, and then this happens. And then you go right back to the start. It's a cycle. You can continue making conflict out of the previous conflict. That's why shows like Arcane are so good, because it's kind of like a domino effect. Everything topples into each other. But simply knocking your OC down over and over and over again without any hope of getting up, that's gonna get boring at some point. Hope is just as important to your story's conflict as is despair. If you truly want me to care and feel for and cry over your character, I need to see them happy. I need to see why they want what they want, how it makes them feel, why it's so important to them, and why it's so gut-wrenching that it's being taken away, or that they can't reach it in the first place. Do not simply torture your OCs if you want to make a story. Let them struggle, have payoff sometimes, and not have payoff other times.
The phrase poorly explained OC lore has become quite popular on TikTok, with artists using this trend to explain the backstory of their characters and simplifying the rather complex and confusing stories into just a few lines of simple worded sentences translated into animated visual imagery to soothe our imaginations as we listen to their characters. And now that you have witnessed the insanely talented artist Rilu share their OC's lore, it will be a wise suggestion to go follow their account because they're rather awesome. Another trope that TikTok apparently hates is when the OC has a lot of scars or markings on their body. It genuinely depends on how they got them. Like if they're a warrior or someone in an apocalyptic setting, it can make sense. My OC is like this, but he was sold and heavily abused as a kid. He can't remember anything that happened due to traumatic repression. He has a bunch of scars. Scars and other bodily markings are a unique way of telling a character's story through their bodies. A character could have survived a fire trying to save a child and then possibly got scars from that event, which now reminds them of their sacrifice. A character could also get scars from being harmed by their siblings, which leaves them sad and distraught. thought. A character could also have scars from an accident that happened during their childhood, which changes their life moving forward. There are a plethora of ways to build a character through scars, and I believe scars are a great way to show perseverance on a character when done properly. Also, they just really look cool if we're being honest. Many other people left comments explaining why original characters could be considered boring, and while most of them were tropes we have seen multiple times, I noticed a few comments who were calling out people who apparently couldn't draw their OCs, so they made that their excuse for using AI to create their characters. The comments were filled with so many artists calling it the only correct answer and saying this was the best response so far. And this was really funny to me because I never really thought about the possibility of that happening, because I have always been under the notion that people who needed character designs for their OC but couldn't draw could just pay an artist for a commission, and that's how they could get cool looking designs for their OC. But after scrolling through TikTok, it appears my assumption was wrong. TikTok users are now creating OCs using AI and even making courses teaching people how to use AI to create their own original characters. Scrolling through the comments, which were mostly filled with TikTok users drooling over these AI characters stating how they love women, really proved to me how these people don't even care how art is made, as long as it's a somewhat pretty drawing staring back at them on screen. I also figured this was possibly because they were mostly non-artists, so they really didn't give a crap how a drawing was made, I guess. Same face syndrome and drawing male OCs who literally look the same in their design choices is now a recurring problem on TikTok, as artists are making TikTok videos calling out people who claim to draw diversity in their male OCs, and many more videos from artists who find it easier drawing female OCs than males, which I think is pretty normal if you don't practice drawing male anatomy, or if your OCs are predominantly female. Drawing a male character is obviously going to be a problem because you haven't practiced doing that. It's weird for me, I mostly draw guys but they end up looking like girls, and I'm better at drawing girls for some reason. I can't come up with interesting outfits for men, so I look at my Pinterest feed to see what I can give them. It's all jester fits. I cannot draw a man who isn't silly and whimsical apparently. Every time I try to create a male character, he ends up being either extra boring, feminine, or just a copy of an already existing character. Giving your character an outfit loosely based around their story is a good way to think about designing a character. Their outfit should serve as a means to tell a story through shape, color, or even how worn out the outfit is. Each of these elements help in bringing the character to life and telling the audience what the character does without having to explain anything at all. Take for example Rick O'Connell in The Mummy. Just from his design you can tell he's an adventurer and a gunfighter as well. Same goes for Indiana Jones, same goes for Drake in Uncharted. By now you catch my drift. I also found this video that listed some questions you could ask yourself when you're trying to design your OC, which could help you build an interesting character and also pull ideas from for their outfit.
Questions to help you develop your original characters. Here's a hypothetical scenario. Your character has just walked into a room filled with people they've never met. What's the first thing these people notice? How would these strangers describe your character based on their looks alone? What stands out? What's less obvious but still noticeable? Is it their hair, their clothes, their eyes, their posture? What does their resting or neutral face look like? How would a stranger describe your character's aura? Do they seem intimidating, nervous, confident, shy? What would the more perceptive people pick up on about your character's personality just by looking at them? And how does your character respond to suddenly having a room full of strangers turn to look at them? What's the first thing they do at that moment?
Whether you go to the gym or not, I think it's safe to say we all casually enjoy drawing muscular figures with hot abs and well-stacked backsides. And while we frantically try to keep ourselves as fit and healthy as our OCs, most of us ignore the health and strength of our pelvic floor muscles, which are equally important muscles that potentially improve our performance in the gym, help with core strength and bladder control, and improve prostate health so we won't have complications when we start to get much older. But thanks to today's sponsor Lilo, we now have the Lilo F2S. The F2S is a training device made with ultra soft and durable liquid silicone and is complete with auto-adjusted ribbon for a seamless and stimulating experience. The F2S pairs with the Lilo app stamina training feature made to help you strengthen your pelvic floor muscles and more. The app also has guided Kegel workouts for you to follow and provides real-time feedback to optimize your training and performance. The Lilo app is pretty easy to set setup and also has built-in training features that keep track of your progress with achievement badges. And now will be a perfect time to mark your calendars because Lilo's amazing Black Friday discounts start October 31st. And the exciting part is, with my exclusive coupon code, you can unlock huge discounts right now before anyone else. Or use my code Mohammed15 for a 15% stackable discount. All the links will be in the description, and a big thank you to Lilo for sponsoring this video. Using the excuse I can't draw so I use AI to make OCs has also been vaulted in the art community on TikTok, as the AI bros hell-bent on making their original characters while casually sliding their complimentary card stating their inability to draw were immediately met with artists calling them out for using AI to make their OCs, especially when apps like Custom Cast, which OP demonstrated in the video, were readily available. Other apps like Pick Crew, Gacha Club, Doll Divine, and a bunch of other programs all give the artist or user the ability to create their characters from different bases all provided in the program. Each of these bases are fully customizable, so changing things like size, weight, height, and color are not even a problem. Artists can select different hairstyles, facial features, and different accessories for their character, while choosing through different clothing options for them as well. And the not so shocking part about all of this is, all of these programs are relatively easy to use, so the excuse of I can't draw, that's why I use AI, is completely insignificant, especially when programs exist for that sole reason. People who use AI confuse me because there are so many better options. I don't know why people use AI. I guarantee you we all started off shit at art. Drawing is something you just have to practice for it to be any good. Everyone else had to practice, so why don't they? There are so many options. Practicing, buying adopts, selling adopts, or to commission an artist. Just commission an artist or use Pick Crew. Problem with using AI to generate an original character, which unfortunately all the AI bros seem to be forgetting, is there literally is nothing original about the character the AI is generating. The AI is trained off models and arts from multiple other artists, and when you ask for something original, it just pulls from the database it has of other arts from popular shows, anime, movies, and your favorite artists. So you're basically not getting anything original at all. Speaking about art that is original, if you enjoy videos talking about art like this, you should subscribe. I post weekly, and we also have a Discord server where we talk with each other, share memes, good looking art, and generally have a good time. The link is in the description. Drawing only pretty looking characters or OCs that are conventionally attractive and then making them only a protagonist has now become another recurring trope that is now seen as a problem on TikTok. This video asking artists to normalize their OCs being evil or ugly had over 7,000 comments, with a lot of artists all casually agreeing to what the caption said in the video. While most of the comments were stating how they love unattractive OCs and found them rather fascinating, other people in the comments were leaving paragraphs stating how evil their OCs were, and each comment was literally worse than the previous one and had me wondering if all these artists were okay or if they needed some help or something, because some of these stories were genuinely disturbing. Can we normalize having basic OCs? No, I don't want all my OCs to be powerful rainbow dragon demons from Genshin Impact. I want them to be normal humans in the world. Can we normalize this? Can we normalize that? Who cares what other people think? They're OCs. Literally just do whatever you want. Or can we normalize not judging other people's OCs? People forget creating an OC is an art, and it doesn't have specific rules you need to follow. If they want a normal human OC or whatever magical being, no one should question it, as they should. The witch hunts for gatekeeping how artists design their OCs on TikTok has become a problem, with artists fighting a losing battle to people who always make it a fact to judge their OCs, especially when the OC doesn't fit the theme or type of character the person passing the judgment usually enjoys. As you can tell by the responses filled in the comment section, artists were finally taking a stand and calling out the trend of judging other people's characters. Most comments were all telling the creator to normalize accepting OCs in general and allowing people to create what they want to create, or just make art they were happy with and enjoyed. A lot of people also really took it serious, and I presume found the video rather offensive, so a commenter had to point out the video was just a joke that was meant to be light-hearted humor and really shouldn't have been taken too seriously. So we can all put the pitchforks and shovels down. Monia was just being funny. They didn't doesn't really mean it. People deciding their OC's nationality but only ending up with them being either Russian, Asian, American, or Japanese is another trope that has unfortunately become a problem according to TikTok, with most artists' OCs neatly falling into predominantly one of these nationalities, which doesn't really seem to be that much of a problem generally speaking, and most artists in the comments seem to agree with me. But the rest of the other 28,000 commenters all had something to say about this new phenomenon. Why are we shaming people for their OC's ethnicity? It's just odd. I never meant to hate, I'm just tired of people only having those OC ethnicities, especially when there are so many cool cultures that don't get nearly enough representation. This is a rather valid argument, since a lot of artists, myself and OP included, generally base the nationalities of their characters on the countries mostly listed in OP's video, including Africa. But making the ethnicity of your character from one of the not so prominent countries requires a lot of research to properly understand the culture and immerse them in it, which is going to take a lot of time but is genuinely going to make them twice as interesting. Another solution is making fictional countries for your characters, and that makes sense since that way you could make up your own rules, culture, history, and even make a language for them to speak. This will be particularly suitable in a fantasy story or a post-apocalyptic setting where modern countries as we know them cease to exist or have been run by, I don't know, zombies or a plague or something, and the survivors have all moved out to different settlements and created their own different communities. You will never catch me making a USA OC. Wow, oddly specific. What's wrong with the USA? I'm confused. I just give them my nationality or close to my nationality. I made my characters their own country, their own continent, their own world, their own galaxy, and their own universe, even their own stars and their own Okay, buddy, we get it. Mixing another artist's drawing of their OC is probably one of the most annoying problems on TikTok. An artist shared a video where they made an OC and someone took time out of their day to fix the OC by apparently changing the features on the face, which somehow, quote unquote, made the OC better, according to them. I don't even know what to say. Can we just stop fixing other people's art without their permission? This feels like the 10 millionth time I've said this on this channel, and I don't want to get tired of saying it, but I am getting tired of saying it. Fixing someone else's OC is basically removing or changing features the person put there for a reason because they don't look good to you. That doesn't even make any sense. Someone made my OC black. I am as white as a sheet of paper and based the character off myself. People need to stop touching other people's stuff and just make their own. That's literally what I'm saying. People who design their own original characters give them particular features because of reasons they themselves understand. If you don't like the features, just go make your own original characters. Remembering the time someone told me, let me fix your OC, and proceeded to make my plus size OC skinny. A person I used to be friends with tried to fix one of my characters because he didn't like how my characters and his characters looked the same. He did it without my permission and ignored the fact that he could just change his own character and that my characters came first. You can tell many artists were pissed about this situation and genuinely found it annoying because they themselves or someone they knew had features similar to the original drawing, so removing them or fixing them was basically invalidating their appearance. Appreciating every single person's drawing is what we should be doing, and if you really want to correct them or talk about something you think is wrong in the drawing, the best thing to do is to tell them about it and ask them if they're open for critiques, before then asking for their permission to change their drawing. And then if they accept, then you can show them what you mean. But then again, the artist may or may not like what you changed in the drawing, and that's totally okay as well. According to a comment made by an artist, people don't like OC art as much as fan art on TikTok. TikTok. But this is a rather interesting statement because as much as the statement is true, the art community on TikTok still does enjoy its fair share of OC art on the platform. Artists are now comfortable enough to share drawings of their OCs and even make little animations with their OCs in memes, funny situations, or relatable problems, which end up going viral with hundreds of comments and people enjoying the characters. But it still is pretty normal for people to be drawn to fan art of an already established character because they already have a connection to the character or just love that franchise. So it's easier and faster for artists trying to grow their accounts to build an audience from fan art and then start showing more of your original characters as you gradually introduce them to your audience. It's normal for it to take some time for them to start enjoying your OCs just as much as they enjoy fan art, but the most important thing is that you enjoy making art and enjoy the process as well. One of my favorite artists on TikTok, Benny, also made a really good video talking about this. It's rather long for TikTok, but he shares really good points I think every young artist needs to learn from, especially if you're trying to grow a TikTok account or just any online presence in general.
If you are an artist on this app and you are trying to make content around an original character that you've made or a story that you've made, this video is for you. I've seen a couple of comments similar to this one, and there were a lot of responses to it on the video that this was from. See, the thing is it's not that people don't like that content as much, it's that it's easier and more digestible when they see a character that they already have some sort of attachment to. See, if you do some kind of fan art, you know, you use Goku, you use Itadori, you use whoever, it doesn't matter. Those characters already have a reputation. You already have an emotional reaction the moment you see them. Oh, I love that character. Oh, I don't like that character. Oh, that character is overrated, like blah, 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 whatever it might be, right? When you post an image of one of them, most cases, people will go to the comments to give their take on that character, right? And that's what creates your engagement. When you post one of your own characters, someone doesn't know them. They don't know their backstory. They don't know how much time you've put into that character. They don't know what type of emotional attachment they're supposed to have other than that character looks cool or it doesn't look cool. They kind of just either like it and move on, or they don't do anything at all. When you're making your own story or you're making your own original characters and you're posting them on here, it takes a lot more time and investment to get people to be excited about those characters because, as I've said in other videos, there are so many new accounts that show up all the time, every day. It's not enough to be like, hey, I made my own character. That's cool. So have so many other people, and I hate to say it that way. You should be absolutely proud of yourself for making your own character and making your own story, but to just assume that by just posting a still image of it or a slideshow of some pictures of the character, it's gonna be enough to be able to get a bunch of views. You shouldn't be worried about the amount of views at that point. You should just be consistently posting about that character.
If you don't know Benny and are not following him on TikTok, you should definitely go check out his account. He has a lot of solid advice for artists and good tips for building an account on TikTok. So if you're interested in that, definitely go give him a follow. Well, it looks like you made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, share the video with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. With all that being said, I'll see all you pretty penguins in the next video. Bye!